All right, and we are back with another episode of Let's Talk About It Radio. I am your host, Ayanna.Jahnee. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I do hope you liked the last episode, but today's episode is about not letting fear control you. And fear is something that I have struggled with myself for a very long time. And what we're here to do is work through that. We're here to work that out, okay? So, what I wanted to do is share a story with y'all, and then we're going to get into some other stories that will kind of illustrate why we shouldn't let fear control us. You following me? Okay, let's keep going. I want to tell y'all a story about how one day I woke up and I went into my kitchen and I heard the loudest buzzing noise of all time. And I was like, oh, that ain't good. So, I'm going into the kitchen and I don't see anything. So I'm like, okay, let me just look around a little bit. Y'all, I walk into my laundry room. And as I go into the laundry room, I walk past the sound, like the sound is booming in my ear. And I'm like, oh shit. So I turn around. And as I turn around, I see this massive daddy bee just like flying around. And y'all, I was shook. I was like, oh, hell no. I got to get this thing up out of my house. Okay. So, of course, the first thing I thought to do was to kill the motherfucker. Obviously, it was like kill or be stung, darling. I'm frantically trying to find something to kill it with. And then I find something. And then I'm just too scared to even approach it. My body stopped because I'm like, if I miss this shit, I'm going to get stung. So I'm paused because I'm rattled with fear. And as I'm frozen, I start to really observe what's happening during that moment. And all I can do is witness the bee consistently trying to fly towards the window. And I honestly don't even know how his big ass got in the house. But when I was observing him and I saw that his objective was not to sting me or not to hurt my dog and sting my dog, but to truly just get back outside, I was like, well, now I'm thinking about his queen. And I'm like, he's probably trying to get back to his queen and trying to get back to his hive. So as I'm having this moment, I decide, well, instead of killing the bee, I'm going to save it. Y'all, I end up finding this jar and I'm still scared out of my mind to even approach the bee because there are times where the bee is trying to charge towards the window, but then crashing out, trying to get out of the window. And he starts flying around the room. And I'm like, baby, I can't do it if you flying around the room. I can't save your life if you flying around like that. So there was a moment after he was trying so hard to get out of the house and get through this window and back outside his bee life. I recognized that he had taken a moment to rest. And oh my goodness, how is this bee teaching me so many things? That's crazy. The bee was taking a moment to rest after trying so hard over and over again to just achieve his goal, which was to get back outside. And when he took that moment of rest, that's when I felt comfortable enough to approach the bee and put him in the jar so that I could release him and send him outside. Well, I took that opportunity, of course, while the bee was resting. I take the jar, I take my little piece of paper under the jar, and now the bee is inside the jar. I remove him, I put him outside, and it's crazy. When you're in a bad situation, you're scared. You're not thinking straight. So you're quite literally having a moment of fight or flight. And I recognized that when I had laid the jar outside, that the bee was still trying to fly in this direction, right? Instead of just flying up where the jar had an opening. And I recognized, okay, so the bee is still kind of operating off of fear a little bit and probably thinking, oh my goodness, I just woke up from this nap and I was stuck in one spot. Now I'm stuck in another and I still can't just fly straight out. So what I did was I moved the jar and laid it down and the bee flies in that direction. And after he flies straight out in that direction out of the jar, he then flies up and over the roof of my house. And I'm just having a Pocahontas moment like, Bobby, I hope your queen good. I hope you make it back home to your hat. Like, y'all, I really do think I'm Eliza Thornberry or something. But what that whole moment taught me, I was going to allow myself to react out of fear. It's a bee. I don't want to get stung by a damn bee on a random Tuesday afternoon because it got in the house. But I was going to allow fear to determine what I was going to do in that moment. And I am so grateful that instead of acting on my fear and killing the bee and just being like, all right, I'm good. I took a moment to assess the situation and really observe what was actually going on. In the moment that I took control of my mind and of my emotional state, I was able to make a conscious decision, which is always more important than making a decision based off of fear or emotion or whatever it is that's going on, whatever turmoil that you're experiencing in your mind that's making you feel like you have to act fast or act on the drop of a dime. Now, don't get it twisted. There are moments where you need to have that, like, okay, I need to make a split decision right now in this very moment. There are times like that, but we're specifically talking about moving based off of fear and how that can drive you to make a decision that maybe you'll regret in the end. And I love animals. I love God's creatures, right? Now, I don't love all of them, but there was no reason for me to really kill the bee. Although this sounds crazy and sounds like that bee movie where that lady fell in love with the bee. Oh my gosh, yeah. But what it really was a lesson for me to be able to recognize when I'm moving off of fear and allowing fear to control me versus when I actually have an opportunity to really assess a situation and move accordingly and take action that is going to make me grow and make me proud of how I responded versus what was happening to me in the moment. So I was really grateful to have that moment because it allowed me to see that I have a choice. Fear cannot have so much power over me in a moment that I choose to do something outside of what I would do if I wasn't moving based off of fear alone. I just wanted to encourage other people out there to really step out on faith, okay? In moments that are scaring you, in moments where fear is quite literally in control of your mind and your body and your spirit, please just take a moment, take a beat, assess it. If you have to assess it quicker than other moments, then obviously say your 2-second prayer and let God work and move. But I wanted to just say, you can apply the bee story that I just told you to a lot of other moments in your life. And that leads me into another story. And I'm going to tie this all back into not letting fear control you. So stay with me. I want to know who out there remembers or recalls the time where minimalism was the request from the viewers, the supporters, all of the people that are watching from their phones at home of somebody performing live on a stage. The opinions of those sitting on the never mind, I digress. However, there was so much conversation around performers doing the most. If they were singing, like if they were belting and they were dancing and giving you a live performance that just seemed so theatrical and so grand, all of a sudden that was too much. All of a sudden, that was just absolutely cringe, right? The word cringe. Like, oh, she's doing the most. We don't like that. Like, calm that down. Like, you don't have to do all that. What you mean? Y'all don't know what performers actually look like. You don't know what a performance actually is. And it's funny because the request back in the day on social media was basically to be minimal. The minimalism kind of aspect of being an artist was hot, right? It was taking a turn. People were over all of the theatrics of a performer who could do all the above. Now, what I'm starting to realize is that the element of being grand or being able to emote in a different way and utilize the stage and being all of these things that make up a performer, now y'all want that back. But the reason y'all want that back is because it's different when you're just at home looking and scrolling on your phone and seeing it and you're like, I don't really like that, versus you paying your money for it. And now you're upset that you paid your coins because you're not getting the show that you deserve whatsoever. But the reason I'm tying that in, minimalism versus performers who give their all, which I'm a millennial child. I grew up watching people give their all on a stage, blood, sweat, and tears, and tying it back into not letting fear control you. Performers, singers, artists, do not allow the masses to tell you to do something other than what you want to do. Okay? Don't take it down a notch. Don't stop singing the way you sing. If you can belt your heart out, baby, belt. If you can dance and sing, show the girls what the girls should have done. You understand? If you can do all of those things, give a performance of a lifetime, do not allow the masses to influence you to take it down a notch because you're doing too much, or we don't like all of that extra stuff. You need to relax. No, baby, no. You need to sit back and enjoy the show. How about that? Because if you ever do decide to pay for a ticket, understand you're going to feel like every single cent you spent was worth it. Hello. That's how I'm going to do my shows, at least. Get into it and wait for it. I just wanted to address that, especially for creatives. Like, don't allow the masses to push you into a state of fear. Don't allow those fear tactics of the masses going in a different direction and wanting to see something different, or wanting to see something that's really not who you are, true to your artistry, influence you and hinder you, because people change their minds every day. Fully be yourself and be true to your own identity and your authenticity. I would like to go into a song. I released an album probably back in 2021. It was called Mother Nature. And one day I get an email from the third-party distributor that I used. I will not be saying their name on this platform because I would rather just keep it pushing. However, they end up taking down my entire project. It is on no streaming platforms right now. If you downloaded it back then, again, it was called Mother Nature, then you might still have it in your phone, but it is not on any streaming platform. When I asked why, they were just like, strange activity. What's the strange activity? People listening to the actual album? People liking it? People downloading and streaming it? That's the strange activity? Okay. Well, what I'm not going to allow is for that third-party distributor to bully me down to the ground. So I am going to re-release Mother Nature with a different third-party platform. And I am going to re-release it, and I'm going to give Mother Nature the love that it deserved. You will not scare me out of re-releasing my music, because that was some good-ass music. And so I am going to share a song from that particular album. It's called My Season. And My Season is about getting out of your own way and walking confidently into the life that you envision for yourself. I promise, when I re-release it, I will let y'all know. But until then, I do hope y'all enjoy it. This is My Season by me, and we will be right back with more Let's Talk About It Radio.
I ain't talked to God for a minute. Shame on me. All the things I can't control, let that be. I wanna get out of my own way, even when the road has traveled by gets lonely. I wanna stop daydreaming. I wanna rapture off into my season. No time like the present. Got that carpe diem, heart somewhere on my sleeve. Oh, so I let myself believe. Oh, so I let myself believe. Whoa. I wanna get out of my own way, even when the road has traveled by gets lonely. I wanna stop daydreaming. I wanna rapture off into my season.
And we are back. I really hope y'all enjoyed my song, My Season, from my album Mother Nature. Again, it is not released because the third party distributor that I use took it down for no good reason. And I will be re releasing it and promoting the hell out of it. Once I re release it, y'all will know. I will send y'all the link. I will give y'all videos. I will give y'all all the things I didn't give y'all the first time. And you know what? That's God's grace right there. God was like, girl, this music was fire. And you absolutely did shite with it the first time. So even though this is going to be a bit of a challenge and you're going to be pissed off about it, I'd rather you be pissed off and have a second chance at doing it better the second time around. So, we're talking about not allowing fear to control you on this episode. Fear is something that can cripple you from really taking chances. It can cripple you from making sound decisions in a split moment. And sometimes fear can even motivate you. How I'm assessing fear right now is my biggest fear is to wake up and be 75 years old and look back on my life and have had all of these great ideas and I never pursued any of them because I didn't feel like I had the resources, or I was scared of what other people would think, or I didn't want people to have a cringe moment with me because they had to watch me grow from one season of me being an artist to the next. And that kind of fear of not succeeding the way I want to succeed in life, it keeps me up at night. It really does. And I don't want to live in fear. I also don't want to live in regret. So I will not allow fear to control me moving forward. And if fear is pushing you in a direction where it is challenging you and making you take risk, then by all means, let that propel you forward, but also just keep a level head and an open mind and an open heart to just recognizing when you are moving based off of fear when it's not helping you. And I promise and vow to not let fear control me if I know it's not doing me any good, if you do the same. I just want everybody watching, send this to somebody who you know has been dealing with fear in their life and allowing it to control them. Send it to a creative. Send it to somebody that is wanting to step into being an entrepreneur. Send it to anybody that you know that's really struggling with fear controlling them and taking over their lives, and you want them to succeed. Because I really hope that in this show, I am able to help inspire other people to step outside of themselves, take risk, bet on themselves, choose themselves every single day, and not allow the ways of the world to control how they move. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, go for it. You absolutely got it. Just get up and do it. I had to get up and just do this radio show. It's not about asking somebody on social media, first and foremost, do y'all want this? Do you want a radio show? I'm not asking permission, darling. What I'm doing is I'm showing you what I'm capable of doing, and then I'll ask you questions like, when do you want the episode? You know what I'm saying? What day do you prefer? What time do you prefer to sit down and watch me talk to you like this? That's the only questions that I'm asking, because I don't need permission to do any of these things that are, I feel like, gifts from God. When somebody encourages you to do something, or when somebody makes a suggestion because they see you and they're like, you know what, I really feel like if you just did this thing, that would really propel you forward in life. You can listen or you don't have to listen, but God uses people to help you through your journey in life, and they're there to plant seeds. And it is up to you how you nurture those seeds, how you water them. And then when they are able to grow, make sure that you're still doing your due diligence. Make sure that you're still showing up for yourself and going above and beyond. Again, it's not about permission. It's about being able to take action in charge of your own life. If you find yourself in a rut because you don't know how people will perceive you, you don't know if people will accept you the way you're starting something. I mean, come on, y'all. I would prefer not to start anything at 70%. You know what I'm saying? Like 70% to me just seems like we're floating by, we're getting by. I would love to be able to do this radio show at a nice ass studio where y'all can clearly see it looks like money in there, you know what I mean? And being able to have guests on the show that are in the industry, being able to interview them and being able to have this radio show blasting in your cars, blasting all over the world, in different parts of the world, and y'all be able to actually vibe and hear me on that level. That's not where I am, and that's okay. But had I allowed fear to hinder me, because again, it's not perfect and it's not the way I want it to be, and it's not 100% how I envision it for myself yet. If I didn't just simply do it and I allowed fear to take control over my situation, I would not be here talking to you right now. And I don't know who I'm meant to help, but it's about me taking a chance on myself and taking that risk and being like, listen, I can't allow fear to control how I move anymore, because if I do, somebody else, and y'all know this, y'all know that y'all had ideas and y'all didn't act on them. You didn't start it because it wasn't going to be the way you wanted it to be. And you look up one day, whether that's 3 months, heck, 2 weeks down the line, maybe a year down the line, whatever, you see somebody else doing the exact thing or something very similar to your idea. That's because ideas have a life of their own. I heard that somewhere and I can't remember exactly where I heard it. I have to find that quote. But ideas definitely have a life of their own. And if that idea wants to be born into the world, trust and believe that idea will be born into the world with or without you. It might have tried to find you first, but if you did not act on it and you allowed fear to be the driving force of why you didn't start that project, or why you didn't get up and start that company, or why you didn't get up and start doing the content that you see in your mind, that idea is going to go to somebody else. The same way the saying goes, use your gifts or God can take them away. And I don't think that I'm saying it right. I'm definitely paraphrasing that saying. But if you don't utilize your gifts, God will take them away. You do not want God taking your gifts away, child, and giving it to somebody else. Oh, that would hurt. Take all that I said today with a grain of salt, darling. Take it all with a grain of salt, however you want to take it. And I do hope that somebody out there listening is going to assess how they've been living their life. And if fear is something that has been holding you back, I hope and pray that something that I said today encourages you, motivates you, inspires you to get up and do the thing that you've been putting off. Stop allowing fear to control you. And I do hope the next time that we see each other, that we have things to talk about in the comments. Like, I let go of fear last week and I did X, Y, and Z. And that's why I'm here, y'all. We got to talk about the hard stuff. We got to dig a little deeper, and we got to get into the topics that are going to challenge us to do better each and every day, especially us creatives. We struggle every single day with so many things, and fear is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest challenges I experience as an artist. So I really do hope y'all enjoyed today's episode about not letting fear control you. Tune in next time, but until then, please like, subscribe, and share this with somebody that you like, maybe somebody you don't like. Either way, please don't hesitate to send it off. Don't let it rot on the internet. Again, I am your host, Ayanna.Jahnee, and this is Let's Talk About It Radio. Until next time, bye.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.